So just as we're talking about the situation for the world at large, when GameStop hits this share price, for example, okay, for me as a normal person, or not even me, like for the people that you see on the street, you know, for the mum with her kids, for the random person who doesn't really know about this, doesn't really involve themselves in investing or anything like that. If you were to try and tell them, you know, whether that's like how they should prepare themselves or what they should be ready for, like what would you say they should be prepared for when GameStop gets to that price and all of these successive events unfold?
Yeah, you know, the question is, what would you tell the average person that's not invested with GameStop, like how to prepare themselves for what might come if GameStop ever gets into the S&P 500 and or these catastrophic events actually happen? What I would tell people is just to be more informed. Do your homework. I didn't know what I know today in 2008, 2009, and I had so much money then, and I lost it all. I lost my job, I lost my income, and I couldn't find a job. And I didn't understand. I was working for Gannett, USA Today, Kurbula.com, and I was the #1 sales guy for 3 years in a row, and I'm thinking I'm untouchable. I think, you know, you're 25 years old, you're supposed to make this kind of money. And no, that wasn't the case. You know, I learned a hard lesson. I got my car repossessed, my house gone, and I had to live in a shack, a 1-bedroom shack. And I met my wife, who I'm with today still, 17 years ago, and we talked. And we said, what's valuable to us and how can we progress through this? So it's been building blocks for me. I'm sure it'll be building blocks for a lot of people, but what I would do is I'd become more invested in your education on investments. And I would additionally just be more informed. And don't believe everything that's put in front of you. Go read it yourself. Learn how to read a 10Q, a 10K, an 8K. And if not, watch channels like ours where they're educational as well as entertaining. Sure. But you got to learn the difference. And that's it.
Okay, cool. And then just one more thing. While all of this is happening, while collaterals are being called and all of these kind of catastrophic events are happening, am I right to assume that would send the price of GameStop higher?
We can assume via market mechanics that the price would go higher on GameStop if all these events happen. You know, because the short sellers would then be buyers, right? There's some people that have to buy in, and then there's also a FOMO crowd where they see something running and they go jump in on it. They just want to catch a wind of it. They want to be a part of the movement and or the ride itself. So there's two aspects there, FOMO and then fundamentally buying in on the short side, forced buy-ins, margin calls. And then, of course, the long investors that'll reap those benefits where they're just looking around saying, I told you. Doesn't mean that I'm going to sell, though. But because I just don't know at what point would trigger for me to sell. It would have to be well beyond the price you see today, well beyond that.
So at that point where there is this kind of domino effect of upward pressure on the price and it is rising from those two effects that you described, what kind of price points do you think you could imagine seeing?
I can imagine seeing anywhere north of $200 to $1,000 a share. That's a big window there, and it's going to take these volatile movements to happen. But they were already going there before. It was already well on its way to $600, $800, $1,000 before the split. So I can see it 200, 300, 400 dependent. And of course, I see it a whole different way because I think GameStop's going to be, market cap well beyond $12 billion, $15 billion. And then you'll see a trigger from there. So $150 billion, you'd see a trigger. So I'd say, yeah, you could see $500 a share. You could see it.
Okay, and that still wouldn't be enough for you to want to sell?
Me, no. I'm looking 900, 1,000, 1,200, 1,100, somewhere in that range. I think I'd have to sell. Some, not all. No, not all, but some, just because it would be very beneficial for my family and I. But I think it'll hold its value too when it takes off, because there's so many people that believe in the company, and I'm one of them.